What's up, everyone? Kristen Lago here for GetSportsFocus. Welcome to yet another week of Around the Pac. Now, there was some breaking news coming out of the Pac-12 South this weekend, and no, I'm not talking about USC defeating its arch rival UCLA in this year's crosstown showdown, because everyone saw that coming, right? What I didn't see coming was what happened less than 24 hours later when UCLA six-year head coach Jim Mora was fired. Now, though Mora's start with UCLA was extremely promising, to say the least, his last three seasons were marked by a 25% drop in ticket sales, a 17-19 overall record, 2 straight losses to USC, and, in my opinion, what was the complete and utter waste of the talent that is quarterback Josh Rosen. So, while understandable, it was unexpected in terms of timing, being that their AD, Dan Guerrero, had just extended Jim Mora's contract, the $12 million buyout, and not to mention the fact that it was Coach Mora's 56th birthday. Awkward. So while offensive coordinator Jedd Fisch is going to be the one to take over as the interim head coach at UCLA for the remainder of the year, the burning question on all of our minds is who is going to be Jim Mora's successor next season. So let's take a look at 3 of the potential candidates on their radar. Number 1, Chip Kelly. The former Oregon head coach is a proven winner at the Pac-12 collegiate level at the University of Oregon, especially with a dynamic offense. So he's a guy who can really take advantage of UCLA's incoming quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson. The only problem with Kelly is that he's already being scouted and put on the radar at the University of Florida, so it'll be interesting to see if UCLA can really draw him back to the Pac-12 South. Number 2 I'm going to talk about is Les Miles. The former LSU and Oklahoma State head coach is a proven national champion. He won a national championship in 2007, led his team to another in 2011. He's a great recruiter at the college level, but the problem with him, he's 64 years old, so no one really knows if he's even looking for a head coaching position at this point. The last one I want to talk about is Jedd Fisch, that offensive coordinator who's going to be the interim head coach for the remainder of the season. The brightest spot for UCLA this year has been their offense. He knows how things work at UCLA. He's worked with their quarterback Josh Rosen, so it could be another Clay Helton situation. He's coached under some great head coaches in the past, including Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh, so I think Guerrero should definitely keep him in mind when doing that hiring process. But if you want to find out who else is on UCLA's radar for next season, check out BruinsNation.com. They have a complete list with all the pros and cons of each candidate. All right, let's move away from the South now and check in on the North. With Stanford's 8th consecutive big game win over their rival Cal, 17-14 this weekend, the Cardinal kept its hopes alive at the Pac-12 North crown. Its fate now in the hands of Washington. If the Huskies can defeat Washington State in the Apple Cup, Stanford will head right back up to the Pac-12 championship game for the 4th time since 2012. But the Cougs still have the easiest path to Levi's Stadium. If they can beat UW, they'll be headed up north for their first conference title game. So be sure to keep an eye on UW taking on Washington State. Always a fun game in the Apple Cup. They're playing on Saturday at 5 p.m. It might also be worthwhile to check out Stanford taking on Notre Dame in their final game of the regular season. A lot of Heisman love has been heading out to their running back Bryce Love this season. Now, Love played on a gimpy ankle last weekend. He's been battling injury throughout this season. He still rushed for 100 yards and 1 touchdown. And overall this year, he has over 1,700 yards and a casual 16 touchdowns. He cemented his role in that number 2 spot in terms of the Heisman hunt behind quarterback Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. But with all of the craziness that's been going on with Baker, all my love is heading with Bryce Love. I'm hoping that this weekend he can really make a final kind of point to that Heisman Trophy committee and really cement his trip up there to the trophy ceremony. He deserves some love. His name says it all. So be sure to keep an eye as well on Notre Dame taking on Stanford. But that's all I got for you this week. Make sure you tune in next week. It'll be the end of the regular season for the Pac-12. We'll be doing some predictions for that Pac-12 championship game and looking at the college football playoff layout as a whole.